All right, muchachos, we're going to talk about the conditional in this recording. First, let's go over a couple of straight mechanical things for the conditional, just the construction of the conditional. Okay, so the conditional is different from a lot of verb tenses that you've seen because the conditional uses the entire infinitive. For example, nadar, jugar, comer, vivir. All right, so you've got an AR, ER, IR there. The conditional uses the entire infinitive, and then you add endings to it. So you add the same endings for AR, ER, and IR. So we look at nadar, and we add the same ending to that one. Nadaría, jugaría, comería, viviría. So the conditional ending is the same whether it's AR, ER, or IR. So really all you have to do is memorize the different subject endings, the different pronoun endings for all three of those endings. So for your verbs, it would be ia. For tu verbs, it would be y, as. For él and ella and usted, it would be ya again, just like the yo form. I'm going to shift this up here just to keep it consistent. For nosotros, it would be íamos. For vosotros, it would be iáis. And for ellos, ellas, ustedes, it would be ian. So any verb that I give you, AR, ER, or IR, basically you're just going to throw that on top of the infinitive. So that's an easy one to remember. The key thing about the conditional, about the mechanics of the conditional, is you have to remember that there are many irregulars. I put those on memorize, level 2 of unit 3. So make sure you memorize those. I'll give you a couple of examples just to refresh your memory what those irregulars look like. Saber, to know. You can't say sabería. You use the irregular form, saber, and then you'd add the ending, sabría. Hacer, you can't say hacería. You'd use the irregular form, ar, and then you would throw in the ending, haría. Querer, you can't use querería. You would use the irregular form, quer, and then ia. Poner, again, not ponería, it would be pondría. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of those because, like I said, they're on memorize and you have to memorize those. So just remember that there are those irregulars. Otherwise, for the most part, you're going to be dealing with just these endings right here attached to the infinitive, regardless of whether it's AR, ER, or IR. So that's the mechanics of the conditional. Let's go over some of the uses of conditional. I'm going to focus on 4 main uses of the conditional. First one is to talk about things that you want in the future, to talk about desires that you might have about the future. So, número 1, desire for the future. Okay, so in this situation, I would use a conditional like this. Okay, me gustaría ir a la playa. Okay, and the literal translation is I would like to go to the beach. Okay, so again, it's a desire for the future. It's not being very concrete. It's not being very firm. It will happen in the future, but rather it's your desire for the future. Me gustaría ir a la playa. Desearía ver a mis amigos. Okay, I would like or desire to see my friends. Quería, again, that's the regular form for querer, quería comer pizza esta noche. Okay, so I want or would want to eat pizza tonight. Okay, so it's one use. To talk about desires for the future, me gustaría would be the most common one that you would use to talk about something that you want to do. The next one is you use the conditional a lot when you're trying to be polite. So you're trying to be respectful. You're using that polite, respectful register. So número dos, to be polite. And this is the second use of the conditional. So for example, if I'm talking to somebody and I want to use that polite register, I might say to that person, ¿podría darme el lápiz? Okay, notice the conditional there on podría. And it's being polite and it's asking, could you give me that pencil? I guess a better translation would be something more, might you give me that pencil? Again, it's using that polite register. Tendría algo para mí? Okay, again, it's being polite, it's questioning, and it's basically saying, you have something for me? Okay. ¿Tendría algo para mí? ¿Me haría el favor de decirme? Again, you're being polite, you're asking a question, but you don't want to be too assertive. ¿Me haría el favor de decirme? Could you do me the favor of telling me? Okay. So again, you're going to use a conditional a lot when you're being polite, when you're using that register, where you don't want to seem too pushy. The next use, and maybe the most common use, is going to be to give advice, to talk about something that you would have done in a particular situation or how you might have handled a particular situation. So number 3 for advice. So this is the one that we've seen a lot in class. And we might say something like, en esa situación, yo hablaría con mis padres. Okay. In that situation, I would speak to my parents. Again, you're putting yourself in the hypothetical situation that person was in. So whatever he was experiencing, whatever she was going through, you're saying, in that situation, I would have done this. Yo hablaría con mis padres. En tu lugar, in your place, en tu lugar, me habría quedado más tiempo para estudiar. All right, I'm throwing you kind of a curveball here because that's conditional perfect. It's got the haber with the past participle, quedado. But let's take a look at what this means. In your place, I would have stayed more time to study. Okay, so again, it's basically still the conditional. It's still giving advice. The only difference is it's a compound verb. Habría quedado, a compound verb here, would have stayed. With the English. En ese caso, in that case, en ese caso, podrías salir más temprano. In that case, you could leave earlier. Okay, so again, it's giving you some kind of advice, or it's telling you what you might be able to do. In that case, you could leave earlier. One more example here. En ese lugar, en esa situación, common phrase you'll hear is yo que tú. Literally, I, that, you. Figuratively, if I were you, yo que tú pasaría más tiempo con mi familia. If I were you, I would spend more time with my family. Okay, I'm going to stop this video in a minute because I'm running out of time here. I've got one more use of the conditional to go over with you, but this gives you kind of a quick overview now that we've seen the construction and 3 common uses.